We are going to teach the skills of emotional sensitivity, the need to control one's emotions by waiting for turns and self-monitoring, the need for the kids to accept fair blame and to accept praise without expecting concrete gratification, and a myriad of other skills that we intend to teach, which I won't go through due to the time constraints. We will also put together folders for CRT, so when they enter the school they will see the processes and the language that we are using. We will put together induction booklets that contain these processes for our graduate teachers with the language, etc. More professional development for our staff on developing their own competencies. An engaging curriculum. From the beginning of next year we will be holding workshops using the Ideas research-based framework to develop a whole school-wide pedagogical approach for putting expressive arts throughout our curriculum in order to re-engage and re-excite our students. We have asked our staff in the workshops pre-merging, what special gift will you bring to our new school? We asked them again this question at the beginning of this year, and we will keep asking them this. We will continue to link into organisations. We will have a one-day welfare PD with Cassia. There are many other things. And I'll go straight to outside and inside. We will also be refocusing our Quality Startup 5-day program that totally incorporates the developmental management approach and explicitly tells the staff which days we will go through which activities and when we will go through the booklets with the children. Special play days as rewards, cross-age tutoring, continue with our peer mediation, which is already occurring where students wearing their fluoro jackets are a first port of call for assisting minor disputes outside. Opening up the school at lunchtimes for activities, and adopting the book a card system where all children will have their names on cards and teachers will ask questions, but just shuffle the card and each child's name that comes up, that child will be asked, as opposed to the loud one taking over. And finally, the challenges that we are faced with next year. Our specialists have problems with that last hour, and that children are always behaving at the worst, and that's the data is reflecting the last hour incidents. Yard duty, we are asking that teachers be very vigilant and not ignore the difficult cases but actually deal with everything that is out there. We need to deal with teacher judgment on behaviour. There are inconsistencies as to what one teacher considers should be an exiting behaviour and what another doesn't, and the favouritism also comes into it. Very importantly, we need to get our teachers out of their comfort zones to adopt the new behaviours, to adopt the new language, to change the culture, fight their own first impulse and stop shouting and understand that bullying tones are unacceptable. And I think at the moment one of our main concerns is the use of the welfare room. We have found that when our children are going to specialist classes, we're actually finding that some of them are not showing up. The classroom teacher is not made aware of this. The specialist teacher is not aware of this. They're actually going to the welfare room, sitting there waiting their turn to have an issue dealt with, but meanwhile they're missing out on a lot of learning. So these are all challenges that we are going to have to face next year. Oh, done. It's finished. Okay. That's it.
All I'm going to say is that a lot of the things that you've highlighted are clearly things that were spoken about, but the new things you've introduced, for me at least, are a couple of things. One, it seems that your D students may respond to processes aimed at Cs, which is interesting, because theoretically, until you open up their motivation for misbehaviour, it might be very difficult to get change, but it'll be interesting to watch your graphs. Secondly, the thing that you raised is parent education. I don't think anyone has highlighted that as yet, and yet it would be really important, I would think, I think it's important educationally, by the way, that parents are aware of the nature of management and what its process and philosophy is. So,
Indeed, parents?
No, I'm saying all parents, really, that they should know that they will live in a history of rules and do what you're told. And you're really saying it's a different game for different reasons, and I think that's something that should be shared with parents if you really do want.
The booklet put together is just a very small booklet with our philosophies and rules, etc. And at the beginning of next year, that's where the startup program will involve this booklet. The children will discuss, illustrate, it goes home, it gets discussed with friends, so they will be on.
Yeah, and even more important than that, maybe the two kinds of letters you send home, because they highlight implicitly what is valued and what is not in terms of rights of other kids and learning and this sort of stuff. So I think that's a really good way to educate parents with a sort of a subtler way, but a really powerful way.